I've been having some recording difficulties, so this is the third time I've recorded this. But for journal number 2, I decided to focus on the question, choose one work of art from the Rosen textbook. How does it relate to Scarry's idea of lateral regard, and do you agree? So first of all, a couple things. I think I was mispronouncing Scary's. I think I actually just mispronounced it again. I was mispronouncing her name in my first journal. It's Scary, not Scarry, as I was saying. Um, and I think also in this question, lateral regard is supposed to be lateral disregard because that's what was showing up in her book. Anyways, so I kind of found, I think she may be contradicting herself in this definition, or when I was reading it, it seems like there was kind of two definitions of beauty, maybe, um, relating to the lateral disregard. So the first one is the worry that follows observing the beautiful. So it's kind of the worry that something is receiving attention for its beauty and something is not, and something else is not. So, for example, if you have two pieces of music, you you're unable to listen to both of them at the same time. But that doesn't mean so you couldn't appreciate its beauty together, but that doesn't mean you couldn't appreciate its beauty separately. So that kind of brings me to the second definition, I think, or what I think is a second definition, where beauty functions as, she says, a small wake up call. So, beautiful things allow us to be more aware in general and to pay more attention to other beautiful things. So, it's shifting our attention from one thing to another. But going back to that first definition, talking about how when we focus our attention on one beautiful thing and only think of that one thing as beautiful, we're not uh, allowing ourselves to enjoy the benefits of other beautiful things nearby, other objects in the same class. And so you're potentially not finding something beautiful because of the first beauty. But I do not agree with that. I think I agree with the second definition more, where um, we don't disregard beauty. Or I guess you could, but I think I guess I like the definition more of the second one, where our beauty is, there are so many beautiful things in this world, and I think they are beautiful for different reasons. So I think looking at one thing could allow us to think of something else that is also beautiful, but maybe in a different way. And so that leads me to the image I chose, the work of art I chose from the Rosen textbook. It's on page 110, I believe, and oops, that's the wrong way. And it is of this gorgeous tree. Pinks are my favorite colors, as I said in my first journal. So it's called Tree of 40 Fruit, and from 2008, and it's still an ongoing project. So, so it says here in the textbook, it is the artist's, who is Sam Van Aken. It's his rendering of how one of these trees could look, and there are 16 in existence, which I think is super cool. So, looking at this tree, let's imagine for a second that this is a real tree and how one of these like monster trees could look like. All these pinks and purples and kind of like a peach color, sort of, or like a very light red. So we look at this, and under the first definition of lateral disregard, we could see this in totally disregard another tree's beauty and only finding this beautiful and considering this the standard for beauty for a tree. And um, but you know, with the second definition, we could look at this tree and say, this is a beautiful tree, but then realize, well, where is the orange on this tree or the yellow? And so that could be the shift in turning our attention towards, for example, a lemon tree or an orange tree. So this tree does both. It both could allow us to ignore other beautiful trees, or it could point our attention to orange trees, like I said, lemon trees, peach trees. I don't know, is mango tree a thing? I don't really know. I don't know all the different types of fruit trees there are. But yeah, so I thought that was a good example, and it kind of relates to Scarry's definition or Scarry's description of the palm tree and how her view of, I forget exactly what it was, like oak tree or whatever, some wherever she's from, some native tree there, and how she thought that was the standard of beautiful or beauty for a tree. But then she realizes the beauty of a palm tree. Both trees are beautiful, but for different reasons. And that's what I agree with. I think that is what beauty is, and not so much that first definition of lateral disregard.